Hi, over the last couple of weeks at church, we've been looking at John chapter 14, and it just gives us some amazing promises that Jesus continues to be with us in the presence of his Holy Spirit. And that's an amazing truth. And I just wanted to share something from my own life that really illustrates that truth as I've experienced it. I became a Christian at the age of 4. It wasn't something I particularly wanted to do. I remember I felt God speaking to me and that I needed to ask Jesus into my heart, but actually not wanting to do that. But plucking up courage, I prayed that prayer of faith and just began from that moment to know an assurance that Jesus lived in me and that my life was changed perhaps forever. When I was 6 years old, I was at school and a teacher was explaining a hymn, and it was based around Psalm 23. And I'll just read a couple of verses from that. Father, hear the prayer we offer. Not for ease that prayer shall be, but for strength that we may ever live our lives courageously. Not forever in green pastures do we ask our way to be, but the steep and rugged pathway may we tread rejoicingly. And she explained to us that it's very easy to pray prayers that were for safety, for ease, for comfort, all the things that I was praying as a small child. God bless mummy, God bless daddy, God bless us all. But she was saying actually our prayers needed to be more about trusting God, whatever the circumstances of life. As I grew up, I knew some of the problems of compromise, of weakness, and it was only in my teenage years as I had a powerful touch from the Holy Spirit that I began to be able to deal with my temper and some of the weakness in life that was constantly causing me to compromise my faith. I remember being spoken to very powerfully that I needed to be baptized, and it wasn't in a sermon, it wasn't anyone saying it. It was actually God telling me that and responding to that. And again, it was something that I felt reluctant to do, but knew that it was going to be an important part of my life. And through my life, I was always perhaps looking that God would give me direction, that he would show me how he was going to use me, that I would know how he was going to bless us. But actually, I think as time went on, we began to realize that it wasn't any of that. It was the assurance that he was walking with us through whatever life was throwing at us. And as a family, perhaps we've been defined more than anything by some of the experience over health issues that we've been through. Back in 2000, Helen almost died of an undiagnosed condition, and she now lives with that. And that was a time in our lives when we really just had to throw ourselves on God. But through that time, we knew a certainty that whatever happened, we were safe in his hands. Through James's illness in his teenage years and Jen's ongoing illness and my own walk with cancer, which continues, we could look at the circumstances, we could look at the storm around us and feel that nothing in life is certain. But in fact, as we've been through this, we've slowly come to realize that actually our trust and our confidence is in God and our assurance is in him. So when we've been looking at John 14 over the last weeks, and it says, don't let your hearts be troubled. And it says, I'm going to give you the Holy Spirit who will be with you forever. He will be your counselor, your advocate, the one who walks alongside you. And when we're promised a peace that the world cannot give, perhaps we're beginning to understand that ourselves as a family, that God guarantees those things. It's not based on circumstances. It's not based on what's happening around us, but it's based on who he is. And in the times that we're living at the moment, the world feels like an incredibly uncertain place. And all I'd say to us all is keep looking at Jesus. Know that he walks with you. Know that he gives you a peace that the world can't give. Thank you.